Hey, yo, Wonder Man, binge time. The 8 episodes. This is an overall review of all the 8 episodes with a little key focus on the last 2 episodes. We've had put out before reviews on episodes 1 through 3, and then episodes 4, 5, and 6, and this is wrapping up 7 and 8. Norb Silver Age, please like and subscribe to our channel. We'd like to go back and look at the influences of the Golden Age, Silver Age, Bronze Age, the comic books, superhero stuff, and all that. Hey, anyway, here we go. So, as you can see, this thing is a redemption, bromance, and it's more than that. It's got some good story writing, good characters, etc. So, I give the final 2 episodes a platinum. Standout production. That is thought-provoking, especially the ending. And I think it requires repeat viewing and should get award nominations, especially for Ben Kingsley. I mean, Trevor Slattery, the role he'd played, Mandarin, bringing back from the Iron Man days. Awesome, man. I give this a platinum. They'll probably just giving you a quick refresher. Episodes 1 to 3, I only gave them bronze. Episode 4, 6, I gave it a 10, which is second lowest ring in my level. It trended up a little bit more, but no. And of course, I just gave this platinum. But overall, I give it a gold because there was weaknesses throughout the series. Some things they just didn't make some sense. Things are a little bit too long, too short. I mean, overall, each episode was averaged at less than half an hour, but still, I give it a gold. It's better than average. The writing was solid. The acting is superb for the 2 of the characters. The rest, not really. Good storytelling. And for those people who were looking for a lot of superhero action, well, this is a disappointment. But those who are looking for a good story, it's a good story. So give it a gold. And I'm going to do a little quick snippets here. Here's one quick snippet that we saw the thing a little bit earlier, predecessor. This is Simon Williams' dad telling his son who got into trouble at school. He goes, sometimes different can be great. He already knew his son has some special powers. We don't know what happened to Simon, but we knew he had some special powers, so he could be great. And you know, they go on the stage. There's a little clip that they're getting, Trevor and Simon are getting their costumes ready, and yeah, they go, yeah, we know you guys have a bromance. That's so freaking obvious. Yeah, that was, it's so obvious. And then this is where Simon, this is the thing, Simon doesn't know when to keep his mouth shut, doesn't know. He derails things in his life and career by not saying things at the appropriate time or the appropriate way or holding things back. And here he almost derails the whole thing and his whole role. He goes, it's over one freaking line. It says, you will never redeem yourself. Because I don't think the character will ever say that at this point. And so eventually Trevor in the background goes, to say I never forgive you. And, that renders through this. Eventually, as if you've seen this already, Simon does eventually forgive Trevor. And then we get into this little thing where we get all the marketing people get together from the agency saying, oh, yeah. Trevor, you can finally put, they're telling someone, sign this up. And Trevor's going, no, just take it casually, see what flows. And then he said, this one guy goes, Trevor, you now can put the Mandarin behind you. This is another hint that keeps dropping through here. The Mandarin thing's not done. And then his girlfriend makes an appearance because she had a conversation with the New York Times writer, which we didn't really talk about. The New York Times writer is what stirs up crap and causes Simon to lose eventual control and derails Trevor, as we can see. But she says, I've always loved you. You would never open up to me. I knew for a long time you were different, and I know you were special. And so even though Simon kept himself shut to people, he still was partially an open book, but not really. And this is that New York Times writer who came in to publicize and get the whole thing. She was fascinated by Simon's story. Awesome. But Trevor, she gets to Trevor. What happened when you landed at the LA airport? I got this thing that shows you're being arrested. Oh, no, it's not me. No, because he's not told anything to Simon at this point. And she goes, I find it an interesting pivot from being a fugitive to a movie star. How did this happen? And how did you get yourself out of it? Did you cut yourself a deal? And that's when Simon just gets pissed. And they run away to one of the filming cabinets or whatever. And Trevor admits, I've been working for Department of Damage Control. And he admits he eventually cuts a deal, even though he says, I didn't cut a deal. I never will work out a deal, but he does admit it. Yeah, I cut a deal, but I didn't give him anything. Simon gave me stuff harmless. Simon get pissed off. And Simon goes, I thought you were my friend. Backstab, heartbroken. Like the movie. This is the other interesting link back to the movie. Barnaby backstabs Wonder Man. So this is the way it appears. I mean, it starts out that Trevor's going to be backstabbing him, but he actually becomes good friends and doesn't want to backstab him. So I didn't know you when I started, so he goes, I like you and all that. So Simon storms off, goes to the sound stage and loses control and blows everything up. Oh, so then he's fearful that everyone's going to remember the doorman clause that he signed, that he's going to be arrested and put away for the rest of his life. And the man appears to be going on, and sees a helicopter flying overhead. And a police car goes by. And I think this is important. 3264, by the way. Number 3264 is reference to corrosives. And I'm not sure if this is referencing the corrosive relationship at this point. Second, between Trevor and Simon, the corrosive aspect of Hollywood. Not really sure at this moment. We'll have to dive in a later future video, discuss that. So then Trevor goes, I'm going to find a way to make it right. And the way he decides to do it, he brings back the Mandarin. And he brings back the Mandarin saying, America, have you missed me? I'm back. To shape. And then he blames the government and film industry for indoctrinating people. Ooh, what a message. For once, the film industry taking a shot at themselves. Awesome. Awesome, because you know what? We have to listen to our hearts and souls, not be told by the film industry, entertainment industry, what we want. We need to understand what we believe, not to be influenced by those who are just living the dream in Hollywood, telling us how to live our lives and dreams. So anyway, he goes, well, last night in the heat of the indoctrination factory, I struck and I blew up that. And so they end up arresting him. We don't see what happens. We assume he's thrown in jail or something. And then we see a whole series of things. The movie is released, successful. One of the foils of Trevor ends up getting his role, who also was a traitor in the Matrix scenario. So anyway, we end up going to a valley. I'm not sure if this is in California or Arizona, but Simon decides to seek out a prison guard to help him and learn about stuff. And it kind of comes out that he's a prison guard at where Trevor is being held. And he goes, well, all I want to do is just mirror you, understand. I can't tell you what the role is. I can't tell you the name of the movie. I can't tell the director. but it's going to be worth it. So that guy helps him get in, sneaks him in under a false name. There is the prison. And I haven't looked at the license plate, what that might mean, but there's the prison. So they go to prison, and they get through security, and Simon decides, I got to use the restroom, supposedly. And then this prison guard gets a phone call from his wife saying, oh my God, darling, we got a huge deposit was made to our bank account anonymously. And he goes, how much? Chuck, it's a lot. Enough to finally quit that job, that damn job. Evidently, they knew that was slime, that job, and what they were doing was wrong. And so, we see a little view of Simon, but we also, for strange reason, the guy from Damage Control who arrested Trevor is for some reason out there, and he's telling some people, oh, Simon's got this ion power, which we need to either put him in prison or we need to control him because he can be in a good weapon or weapon instruction. We got to deal with this. He's capable of ours. And he's an extraordinary threat or whatever, so like I said. So Simon comes up, finds Trevor, rips off the cell, rips it open, and Trevor's going, no, this is a terrible idea. Don't do this. Don't do this. Don't do this. And what happens is this. Trevor is picked up by Simon, who's learned how to control his ionic powers, and boom, blasts through the roof, goes out, leaves us going, what the heck's going on? But we're all cheering the fact that these two reconciled. There's redemption between the two. And we're also reconciling. Simon finally realized it's more than just himself that matters. And there's other messages through this. Things are all interacted. Mandarin, awesome things. Nora, we're so very glad to hear your comments. Once again, I gave this a gold. But the last episode's platinum. Highest level is platinum. Please like and subscribe and give us your comments. Have a great day.